A very good evening to session number 2 on day 4 at the Kobe 2024 Para-Athletics World Championships. We're at the Kobe Universiade Memorial Stadium. 35,000 capacity here on quite a glorious afternoon as we head into the early evening. It is session number 8 of 18 altogether. We're almost at the halfway point of what's been an enthralling World Para-Athletics Championships. Seven finals decided in the morning. There are 12 gold medals to be given in the evening session. 4 of those in the field, and we have 8 on the track. The Dutch are out in force. Joel de Jong, you can see there, who picked up a silver medal in the long jump last night, and we'll have Dutch aplenty in the opening event of the night. Fleur Jong, the Paralympic and world champion, goes in the women's long jump T64 to get us underway. Women's shot put F34 at 17:24. Zhu Liuan, a phenomenal record she has of gold medals. Salam Kalafashi will go in the men's 100 metres T13, defending champion. And then a little later on, we've got Jose Lemos, the Paralympic and world champion in the men's javelin throw F38. Amara Duran gets her campaign underway as well. Women's 400 metres T12, the medium visual impairment category. And Shi Yiting also out in the women's 100 metres T36, a perennial medalist. And China, yet again, at the top of the medal table. You'd expect nothing else. They're heading for 5 consecutive World Para-Athletics Championships where they've been at the top of the pile. Not a breath of wind, too much in the air. The windsock may be able to have a night off. 21 degrees. A little bit of cloud, but nothing to speak of whatsoever. It is a glorious evening for both track and field para-athletics. We're heading towards the end of the month of May as we hurtle towards the Paralympics later in the year. Doesn't it come around quickly? The umbrella's out today, not for the rain, but for the sunshine. We had enough of the rain last night, and we are hopefully set fair for the rest of the week as we move towards Saturday, which will be the last date. And already we've been enjoying the fruits of the athletes' labour because they've done an exceptional job, and we look forward to seeing more. Well, I say possibly world records and championship records. I say that, I'm pretty sure we will, because there's been one in every single session we've seen so far. So I suspect it is going to continue again. Women's long jump T64 will get us underway in the field. Women's discus throw F53 and the women's shot put F34 are the opening 3 events in the field. The first on the track will be the men's 400 metres T52. We have 2 heats to go in that one. But I think it's time to bring in Steph Reid and talk about Fleur Jong, who's the reigning Paralympic and world champion. Long jump is your thing, and that's what we're starting with. Steph Reid, and Will Downing will come in a little bit later.
Well, it's no secret what I'm looking forward to this evening, the women's long jump T64. And not just because I used to compete in it, but because of the long jump we were treated to last night, which was absolutely epic. The pouring rain just adding the atmosphere, and I am hoping we're going to get a competition of that kind of quality again.
Yeah, I don't doubt that we will. There's only 7 who are going in it, so everyone's going to be there until the very end. And there is our field just setting themselves and focusing on what has to be done. It's a glorious evening. Absolutely fantastic. Marlene van Ganswinkel there as well. She was the silver medalist in Paris last year. There's the lady who took the gold medal. In outstanding form she was, and I bet she's looking forward to this evening. Great Dutch support. Now, the Dutch on the medal table, they're a bit further down because they haven't really been involved too much with their athletes thus far. So I do expect them to move up that table as we go over the next couple of days. No matter where you're sitting, whether it be in the sun or the shade, it's been an enjoyable experience for the thousands of people who have come in. Women's F53 discus throw is also one of the opening events. So we'll have a bit of field action to go with, and then we'll, I mean literally, rocket through the field, because they will be flying. Wait until you see Amara Durand. More gold than Fort Knox for that lady. She'll be in action later. And that's a special occasion for these fans, because many of them would never have seen Amara Durand in the flesh, and she is quite some athlete.
She is unbelievable. And watching athletics live is a different experience to watching it on a screen. And so often I find myself in the commentating booth, torn between the screens and the live action, because it's not until you see them moving and see those different visuals and reference points you understand actually how fast they're going.
I'm just taking in the lovely sunshine coming into the stadium. It's, I think today, all around today, I think weather-wise, it's been absolutely perfect for the athletes. And this little sheltered area down here where the women's long jump T64 will get underway is providing us with some momentous moments already at these championships. You mentioned last night, and it was Leon Schaefer with the very last jump of the evening, in the last event to finish in the evening, picking up a gold medal and going past Jo de Jong of the Netherlands. But here we are now with the introductions of the athletes about to come up. They'll be presented to the crowd. Only 7 in it, but it's a high quality field with Japanese interest as well. And you'll know when the Japanese jump, the sound ratchets up somewhat. There's our field. Fleur Jong, the favourite. Marlene van Ganzenwinkel as well. Both of those high quality jumpers, but there's high quality all throughout their field, and a couple of Japanese in there as well, which will keep the crowd on the edge of their seats. Jovial atmosphere.
For now.
I was just thinking that myself.
Women's long jump T64.
So time now for the introductions of the 7 athletes taking part.
Representing Spain.
This is the women's long jump final. They're being introduced in their jumping order. Spain's Sara Andre Barrio picked up 3 World Championship medals in the sprints, none yet in the long jump. Get ready for a big cheer here. Saki Takakua, a 3-time Paralympian of the Netherlands. Marlene van Ganzenwinkel, dominant in the sprint, winning the 100 and 200 meter at the World Championships last year. Australia's Sarah Walsh, she is the Oceania record holder. Beatrice Hatz of the U.S. finished in 4th at the World Championships last year. She's been having a great start to her season on the track, running some very fast times. Another huge cheer from the crowd as Japan's Maya Nakanishi has been introduced. She has a very good record at World Championships. And the favorite, Fleur Jong. First in Tokyo, she did the double in Paris at the World Championships, winning the long jump, winning the 100 meters. She starts with a personal best almost a meter ahead of the rest of the field. She will be very difficult to take down in this event. And the women have already been out for about half an hour setting up their runway before they were introduced. You can see the markers there lining each letter assigned to one of the athletes. As Andreas Barrios starts us off. A white flag there from the judge. Now this is a T64 event. However, T62 athletes like Andreas Barrios are eligible to compete. The difference being a T62 has 2 blades, a T64 has 1 blade.
Just have a thought about this for a moment and just explain, maybe in a moment or two after the next athlete's gone through. We've only got 7 in this field, and normally with a bigger field we would all have 3 jumps and then we would cut it down to 8 who go through. There's only 7 in this field now, so just explain what that means for the audience who are watching on after this jump perhaps.
So that was a conservative start for Andreas Barrios. Japan's Saki Takakura. Season's best of 4 meters 57, but a 5 meter plus long jumper at her best. Red flag means a foul. Now, speaking of fouls, it's a very important point that you raised, Tolson. And as my athlete mind, when I look down this field, you see 7 other athletes. My first thought is, okay, I'm guaranteed all 6 jumps. In a field event, after the 3rd round, only 8 athletes will make the cutoff. Only 8 will get a further 3 jumps. But what this does mean is they have a little bit more, shall we say, wiggle room, because actually this morning we did see devastation for Saliev of Uzbekistan, by far the favorite, but he fouled all 3 jumps and did not make that cut because there were 9 men. Netherlands' Marlen van Gansenwinkel. Oh, now you can see what happens there when the runway just doesn't work out. You can see a little bit of frustration early on. She was well behind the board as she was coming up for her takeoff leg. Sometimes as an athlete, you know it's better to abort than to try and force something that's not going to happen.
And that comes back to what you were talking about a moment or two ago. Because there's only 7 in the field and she's guaranteed those 6 jumps, you can really burn one of them if you have to at the very beginning when you're trying to get yourself into a position where you're looking at getting your length of run up absolutely correct.
Exactly, if you have to. Obviously, ideally, you want to get that first one in. She's having a quick conversation there with her coach as Australia's Walsh takes to the runway. At the moment, the lead is 4 meters 54. Andreas Barrios. Sarah Walsh holds the Oceania record. That stands at 5 meters 49. Another red flag.
Yeah, they went across and checked that one with the computer. The judge wasn't exactly sure down there if Sarah Walsh had broken the mark, and you can see there that she has gone across by, what, half an inch or so.
Now you'll see from that shot, we no longer have plasticine on the takeoff boards. Instead, what we have are some very fancy cameras with some very high resolution, which allows the judges, if there is a question, they can zoom in. Beatrice Hatz of the United States just waiting patiently. When that orange cone is out, it means the officials are just prepping the pit. Now, Hatz has had a fantastic start to her season with a lifetime best in the 200 meters. She is a double junior world champion, but yet to claim a medal on the senior global stage. Now she's gotten the white flag.
Hats off to her.
So we have 3 competitors now registered marks, 2 with fouls beside their name. As Beatrice waits for that result. She is currently in a competition to win the cover for Hers Muscle and Fitness magazine. Now, voting ends on May 23rd. She would greatly appreciate your vote. 477. Now we're yet to see a 5-meter jump. I was so pleased to see Nakanishi on the start line because I had heard rumors that perhaps she was retiring, which would have been a shame because she was born in Osaka, just a 30-minute train ride from here. And she is an athlete who has an excellent record when it comes to world championships. She won the title in 2019, third in 2017, third in 2023.
Yeah, just 30 minutes away on a train ride or 2 hours on the bus.
Oh, that looks like that is... Well, I'm not going to say anything. That's been given at 5 meters and 8 centimeters.
Straight into first place and a season best as well.
Fleur Zhang. She had an absolutely stunning season last year, culminating with a world record set at the Diamond League in Brussels. And it was an amazing competition to watch because she was there competing alongside able-bodied athletes. And with that competition around her, it pushed her to the best jump of her life, the best jump in the history of bladed women. And that one looked over 6 meters. Now, her runway is longer than any of the other women in this field. And that's because on those 2 blades, it can take a little bit of time to get going. But she has said specifically she's been working on more speed on the runway, which would be incredible because she is fast already, a 12:40, 100-meter lifetime best. It's not crazy to think that she might be pushing back that 7-meter mark.
Interesting when you talk about that too. Of course, she won that 100-meter gold last year in Paris as well, showing the amount of speed that she does have. So it does help, doesn't hinder you as far as long jump goes.
And she kicks off the competition with a championship record in style. 6 meters 40 takes her straight into the lead.
And it shows you how far she's come along as well, because that championship record of hers in the T62 is actually set in Dubai back in 2019. It was 5:16. She's now jumping 6:40 in the championship. Quite some improvement.
It is a big improvement, and again, I think it just shows sometimes, I shouldn't say so often, sometimes, I've had it said before, oh, well, you're so lucky you're jumping off a blade, that makes it easy. And I think it does not make it easy. It's incredibly difficult. You don't strap on a pair of blades and suddenly start flying down a track. There's a progression, and she has worked incredibly, incredibly hard. And you've seen that improvement. It didn't come all at once. It really has just exploded in the past 2 or 3 years, but that is because there's been several years behind that.
Second place and third place was Spain's Sarah Andres Barrio at 4.54 meters, which is her.
We start the second round with Andreas Barrio. Now, on top of being an athlete, she is also a primary school teacher. And a few years ago, she wrote a really incredible book called Do You Know Who I Am? And it was a children's book. And it was exploring disability and stereotypes and helping children to understand that it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from or how you do things, you can do amazing things. And just another example of the way that the Paralympic movement is inspiring the next generation. We're seeing the school children in here every day. We're seeing young fans being created.
Well, you talk about it doing amazing things. She's done just that in the second jump with a season best 4.72 in third position after a 4.54 in her first. Takakura will go next.
Japan has already had some excellent success on the long jump event. We've seen 2 medals in the long jump. A silver medal from Ishiyama this morning in the T12. We had a bronze medal in the women's T12 yesterday. She opened her competition with a foul in the first round. As we said, not quite that danger in terms of not making the final cut. Now on that one, she clearly went back and corrected her runway. She was well behind the board, but she will register a mark. 4.67, season's best. That takes her into 4th position.
Well, as we bring the Dutch back into focus again, I think it's a time to let Will Downing come in and say a few words. I know he's itching to get in after his holiday last evening. Good evening to you.
Success. How's it going? I know this woman was honoured by her favourite football team, PSV Eindhoven, when she won previous global crowns. Kind of conservative start from Elena, but Ganser-Winkel so far well behind Fleur Young, and B-Hats actually took off before the board there.
Now Marlene van Ganser-Winkel is one of the strongest athletes I have ever met. And actually, I'm so excited to commentate on this event because I have competed alongside all of the women in it. And as I said, Marlene is incredibly, incredibly strong. And she will say herself, her technique perhaps is not the most beautiful in terms of long jump technique, but if I had to choose power over technique, I would choose power every single day. 5 meters 45 from Van Ganser-Winkel, a season's best.
And gave away 25 centimeters as well with the very early takeoff. Women's discus, F53 is on as well. It's busy in the stadium. It's seated, of course. Everybody gets their throws in at once. And we have 4 in this, 3 waiting, and 1 ready to go. Elizabeth Rodriguez, who is the world record holder in 52 and 53. She was a 52, now she's a 53. Bit of reclassification going on.
Been a busy morning, a busy day for her as well. Shot put earlier.
Yes. But she hasn't gone home. She's still enthusiastic, though.
Representing Brazil, Rodriguez Gomez Elizabeth.
18:25, lifetime best. And silver this morning in the shot put. Keiko Onidani, in terms of lifetime best, is pitch 3 of the 4. Elena Gorlova, neutral athlete, is pitch 2nd of the 4. And there's already been a yellow card for Nadjet Boucherev for some reason. She's the only one of the 4 who's never thrown beyond 10 meters. But Nadjet can wait in the wings, ready to pounce, like what we were saying in the T13 races earlier. By the way, Very important point from earlier. You may have tuned out. I will give you that point now. Yitial Yixor was disqualified from the men's 1500 T11. He finished second. He was later reinstated. Silver medal for Ethiopia to go with their 2 in the women. So that was a good rebound for him.
I can tell you that Bushref, it's a non-compliance of equipment yellow card, so something that has to be fixed before she can go.
Maya Nakanishi is up in her second round attempt. She fouled her first attempt, looking to get on the board there, and that looked to be safer. Now, actually, on the first attempt, it did originally come up as 5:08, which is an excellent jump. Upon review, it was determined that it was a foul, and I think we could see from the screen that it was also a foul. We just didn't want to say it. But that jump looked to be safe, and so she will be on the board. Now, away from the track, Maya has been known for some creative ways when it comes to fundraising. Parasport is expensive, training is expensive, coaching is expensive. 5'17", that will feel good because that is a bigger jump than the previous one that she didn't get credit for. She now jumps into third place. Fleur Zhang opened with a championship record at 6:40. She set a PB recently in the hang clean, which means power is not a problem for her right now, and that one looked big. I'm always hesitant to make a call on the distance simply because we're not looking at those markers head on. In order for them to be accurate, you can't have it at an angle. She's been given the white flag. This is going to be measured. Now, her world record is 6'74", and I have to say, conditions today are excellent for jumping. Absolutely perfect on the board, which is so hard to do when you are a double-bladed jumper. $6'53". She's added 13 centimeters to her championship record. She's using each jump to get better, get better. Could we see a world record here this evening?
Feels like a coach there, Guido Bonson, is one of the hardest working men in show business. He's got a whole load of athletes, a lot of the Dutch team that he still looks after.
Starting off the third round. Now you can see there what happens when you aren't quite able to control all of that power off the board. Andreas Barrio is smiling. It has happened to every long jumper, bladed or not. At some point, you have eaten sand. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes, especially as a blade jumper, that happens because you've generated more power than you were expecting, and that actually can be a sign of good things to come.
Was it Sarah Andres Barrio who was on the track in the rain in London in 2017? That iconic photo.
Yes, it is one of the best photos. It was after she had just won a medal.
Yeah, bronze,
it was absolutely pouring down, and you see a photo of her celebrating in the rain.
Oh, I remember that rain. I do remember.
Saki Takakua in round 3.
Another red flag for Takakua. .467 with her second attempt. Still all smiles. And this is actually an amazing story of inspiration by another Japanese athlete, the very popular Mamie Sato, also a 3-time Paralympian, also a long jumper. And you might recognize her because it was her speech, her famous speech, that helped Tokyo win the bid for the Paralympics. We've got another athlete writing in a notebook. We saw Jonathan Edwards doing it the other day.
Ollie Slager started that.
Well, you mentioned about Andreas Barrio being a school teacher. Perhaps she's got Fleur Young to start doing some homework.
Marlena Van Ganserwinkel, round 3. Oh, she missed it. Missed the board. And that was a bit of a swan dive.
This is her first long jump competition of the season. And it's quite unusual you would open your season with the World Championships, but that's how it falls in the schedule. And we know she's fast. We know she's a great jumper, but sometimes it can take a little bit of time to get that rhythm. But she already has a good mark on the board. 5 meters 45 puts her into second position.
Again, that was the one where she took off well before the board and did again there. So do you put that down as a bit of coordination? I know Guido's having a few words there.
It just comes down to a little bit of variability in that runway. And at different times of the season, you're working on different things. And I think we take for granted how easy people think it is to be accurate on that board. But if you're taking 20 steps and you're off by about 5 centimeters on each one, it's very easy to foul. Now, typically, this would be a clutch jump for an athlete when you see 2 fouls and we're coming up to the 3rd one. However, because there's only 7 athletes, she has a little bit of wiggle room. Even if she fouled this jump, she still would continue on. However, you don't want to keep fouling. That one looked to be not only a safe jump in that it was firmly in the white part of the board, it actually was a decent jump as well.
Yeah, the mindset's a bit different, isn't it, when you're lining up there knowing, well, hey, if I foul here, I'm not out of the competition, but at the same time, you don't want to keep doing it because you are eventually going to put your pressure on as you get towards the back end of the competition. But she has got a mark. 5.14, a season best for Sarah Walsh. That takes her up into 4th position.
Moves above B. Hatz in that. B. Hatz, because too many people were mispronouncing her first name, she says. But B is easier to say. We continue with the women's shot put F34. Now, in terms of the track, this is Hannah Cockcroft and Wally Katila's category. Zhu Li Juan is having a very busy week here.
Women's shot put F34 final.
It feels like they've kind of changed the introductions because
Representing
they all used to line up, and now the first one is allowed extra time in the ring. Anyway, here is Zhu Li Juan.
I know exactly what you mean. It's probably to save a bit of time, but Zhu, the reigning champion, won javelin and shot put back in 2020 as well. Next to her is Sayana Moody, who was bronze last year. Yadav, silver at the Asian Para Games last year, and then we have Zhu as well. The second of the Chinese athletes heading out in this. Zhu, she's a lifetime best of 7.14. Elena Oliver, one of the neutrals.
Representing Germany.
Charlene Koch, we've already seen Koch here at these championships, finding her way in Parasport.
Al-Jumar Farah.
Sarah Al-Jamar of Saudi Arabia, her lifetime best set this year. And then, last but not least, already in position, lifetime best of 6.72 for Ansef Al-Nuaimi of the United Arab Emirates. So there are 8 to go in the seated women's shot put F34 category. We'll take you through that in a little while, but the long jump is still continuing. Women's T64.
We are back with Fleur Zhang, and we don't want to miss any of her attempts because every time she steps onto that runway, championship records, world records are in danger. She opened with 640. Second attempt, 643. You can hear those blades slicing down that runway. Now, she's been perfectly accurate on the board both times. That one, still a legal jump, just well behind the board. So she's losing distance, but also I would always say when your blade hits that board, you get this really satisfying crack. And that is just because that board is solid and you just get a better transfer of power. Still an excellent jump, still a jump that would keep her in the lead, but not what she's looking for. 6 meters and 7.
I know what you're talking about with that board. It's like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, isn't there? So you do get that bounce off because you're hitting something and bouncing back off it.
And now who's a school teacher?
Yes, exactly. Well, I am. I can't fold that, I am.
Couple of good wins in the Diamond League circuit last year in Brussels, the King Baudouin Stadium in the long jump, but also in the 100 in Oregon.
You can see her there just chatting with her coach, Guido, teammate of Marlene, and they have also produced an incredible athletics club between them.
Team Para-Athletic. Let's watch more sportlers on the track though. T52.
Yeah, 400, the first of 2 heats. The reigning champion will go in the second heat, Maxime Karaban. But that man, Sato Tomoki, the Paralympic champion, will go in this one.
And Pete Bush as well, who first medalled in the Europeans in 2003. Way back when. Young John Day, who is in lane 3. Lane 5, Tomoki Sato, the reigning 1500 meters world champion, Asian Games champion over 400 and 800, reigning Paralympic 400 champion as well. Pete Bush, he is now 52, and when he finished 4th in the 100 meters in 2003,
round 1, heat 1.
finished behind the top 2 from Ireland, John Fulham and Roy Guerin. They're in basketball and powerlifting these days. Lane 9, Lithuania, Ketsuis Skukas, silver in the 15 at the last Euros. Lane 8 for Colombia, the 400 silver medalist in the last Pan Am's, Christian Torres. In lane 7 for Japan, the former 1500 meters world champion from 2011 in Christchurch, Hirokazu Inabaru. In lane 6 for Mexico in his 4th world championship. A couple of bronzes in his Paralympic Games career, Leonardo Perez. In lane 5 for Japan,
Sato Tomoki.
the reigning Paralympic champion, Tomoki Sato.
In lane 4.
In lane 4 for Switzerland, the reigning European 100 meters champion. He first medaled 21 years ago, Pete Bush. And in lane 2 for Korea,
In lane 3,
the Asian Games 200 meters champion, Jeong Young-dae.
Men's 400 meters.
So it's the top 3 to go through across the 2 heats.
Starts.
It will be the next 2 fastest. So Young
On your marks.
in 2. There is Sato, on whom there is so much home attention. 4-time world champion. And the reigning Paralympic champ.
Set.
So it's Jeong in 3, Bush 4, Sato 5, Perez 6, Inabaru 7, Torres 8, and Skukash in 9. And immediately belting away, Sato, as you would expect, a man who's won 3 400 meters world titles. He's going well in lane 5, and also, as Torres for Colombia is flying right now, silver in the 4, bronze in the 1 in the Pan Ams in Santiago last year. There's no keeping Sato down, he's on the way now. Bush trying to gear up a little bit. Skukas of Lithuania's slipped back loads of European medals in his career. But it's about being in the top 3. It's not necessarily being about in the top 1. But Sato is on home soil, and he wants to give the home crowd in Kobe a bit to cheer about. Look at this margin. This is gigantic. Sato's going to take it, and Yainabaru is going to be second. So to Japan, 1-2, 57.38, unofficial. That's fast. Yainabaru in second, and Torres in third for Colombia. Tomoki Sato, no holding him down. 57.38. World record has come up there. Not quite sure that's correct, to be honest. Came up on the screens in the stadium. Season's best for Sato. The actual world record is 52.10 from Maxime Caravan of Belgium, from Sharjah earlier in the year in the Grand Prix there. 102.12, by the way, for Perez in 4th position. And hey, it's a Japan 1-2. And it's given the crowd of a few thousand here in the Universiade Stadium a lot to be happy about.
So much pressure on Sato. Well, not pressure. I think just excitement around him. Japan has yet to get their gold medal. That is a dominant win from Sato. And what's quite a conservative push for him, however, he is going to have a very big hurdle to get past in that final, because Maxime Carabin is up next. And as you said, 52. He's very fast.
Yeah, Sato through. I mean, that was a massive winning margin of 4 seconds. That, by the way, was probably the only mention this week of the word hurdle. Don't have those. Hey, somebody really enjoyed that, though. Somebody else is occupied with something else, as are these very good athletes.
Sarah Walsh, with her 3rd effort, she went 5.14. She had 2 fouls before that.
Yes, she's struggling to find her runway. And of course, there was no danger of not making that final, but what you really want is just to have confidence so you can finally let fly. And just a note on Andreas Barrio of Spain, who we saw take a little bit of a Superman jump into the pit. She has chosen to pass her 4th attempt, so hopefully she's okay. Now that one is a good jump. Unfortunately, I don't think she's going to get credit for it, as
red flag.
That one has been given a red flag. Sarah Walsh has been really open about her process when it comes to long jump. She actually used the delay of a year during COVID to try and change her jump technique, lengthened her runway, changed to a hitch kick style, and that is what the athletes are doing all the time, trying to find those extra gains. Maya Nakanishi of Japan on the runway. As I said, she's been known for the creative ways in which she's helped to fundraise her career, because it's expensive as an athlete. Training is expensive, legs are expensive. She actually raised $50,000 selling a calendar. 3,000 copies. The photos were absolutely stunning. But
I hope that's dollars and not yen, by the way.
it is, yeah, it is $50,000. That wouldn't be enough, I don't think, 50,000 yen to fund a...
I think Will was talking about releasing a calendar of his own.
Yeah, nobody would buy it.
I'd pay 50 yen for it.
I'd pay you to buy it. Anyway, if you're wondering what that banner was, jump to the world, run to the future, Maya Nakanishi. But she probably will. He's in the bronze medal position. Young is set fair right now with that championship record. Breaking the one in Dubai when she was on the way back, because she missed Berlin, if I remember, the Europeans, because she had that big operation to take a bit off her leg, which would have been about 5 or 6 years ago.
That's right, actually. Fleur has not had a straightforward career. She did spend quite a lot of time in hospital, but interestingly, she said that was one of the game changers for her, because she found Pilates through that, not being able to use her legs.
That looks a red flag is already up for Nakanishi in her 4th attempt.
And she's all smiles because she is jumping big at the moment, but she's got to find a way to get behind that board. And what about, I had heard rumors that Nakanishi may have retired, but seeing that banner in the stands and having a World Championships that close to your hometown, being able to compete in front of your friends and family, letting them see why you have missed all those coffee dates, all those weddings, all those parties, that is something special. That is worth sticking around for.
And now, Netherlands, Marleen
Van Gansenwinkel has had a little bit of trouble with her runway. She does have an excellent jump in the second round, 5 meters 45. The other two have been either a run through on the first attempt or just a decent jump, just so far behind the board. Has she been able to sort out her runway? Still not quite on the board, but even then, that one looks to be a 5 meter plus jump, bearing in mind the board itself is 20 centimeters at least that she's missing.
Men's 400 meters, T52, round 1, heat 2.
So it's the second heat, and the men's 400 meters T52. Salvador Hernandez Mondrago, he is 60 years of age. He won gold in Sydney 2000 in this event. He has been around for a long time. Manglawan, his lifetime best from the Philippines is 101.54. He's the current Asian Paragames champion. Maxime Caraban, the former handball player who took gold last year in Paris and the world record in the final.
Representing Japan.
The man who took bronze in that final, also bronze at the Asian Paragames, Ida Tatsua.
Lane 5.
Fabian Blum of Switzerland. Very experienced.
Lane 4, representing Thailand.
Kretnasiri of Thailand will go in lane 4. His season best, just 103.57. And here's now, he's been around for a while as well. He won bronze back in 2004 in Athens in this event. Thomas Gierspichler of Austria.
400 meters T52, round 1, heat 2 starts now.
So first three will go through.
On your marks.
And it will be the two best times after that. Second heat of the men's 400 meters T52.
Set.
And away they go. Caraban in lane 7 is already up on the shoulder of Manglawan, the Asian Paragames champion, and he's now looking at Hernandez Mondrago on the outside to try and take him on, and he's done just that, and he's absolutely flying out in front. Is the man from Belgium, Maxime Caraban. It is the first three that go through, and unless something drastic happens, it'll be Caraban who's definitely guaranteed to go through in first place. That world record set in the final last year of 54.19 was that championship record, and the world record set in Sharjah earlier this year, which he broke on the 6th of February, and he's absolutely flying out in front. There's no doubt whatsoever about this. Goes across in 52.51, and he's broken his own championship record in the heat, and doing it rather easily. Ida Tatsua will take second position, and it will be Manglawan, the Asian Paragames champion, who finishes as the third of the automatic qualifiers. But, well, Caraban had no competition out in front there, and he still set that championship record of 52.50, which he's broken from Paris last year. The world record he set again earlier this year, that at 52 on the nose, but that one there, 52.50 for that championship record. And he's 8 seconds out in front. Well, I'm going to ask you a question here, Steph Reed. When you're that far out in front and you can still set a championship record, how fast do you think he's going to go in the final?
I mean, that looked more like an exhibition than anything else. Perhaps they were looking at this as a training run, but he is absolutely dominant. And it is quite amazing, especially, you mentioned he was a former handballer. He was in a life-changing accident in 2019. That's just 5 years ago. And he is making this transition look very, very easy, and it is not.
Well, he made it look easy there, all right. We'll get confirmation of that in a moment, but we're just sticking with the women's long jump T64. We're talking of championship records. Fleur Jong has that. As Sarah Andres Barrio prepares to go again.
Now, Andres Barrio, she passed her 4th round attempt. We're very glad to see her back in the 5th round. She took a hard landing on the 3rd round, so good to see that no injuries have happened there. Sometimes you just need a moment to collect yourself. Actually, sometimes the issue is that you just need to make an adjustment on your legs, on your blades, and you don't quite have enough time before it comes back to you. So it's better just to take a pass, sort yourself out, and get ready. And clearly that strategy worked. 480, her best jump so far.
So the first 3 in each heat and the next 2 passes will advance to the final.
Andres Barrio has had so much success at the World Championships. It's just all come on the track so far. Not yet able to take a global medal in the jump. Beatrice Hats, or B-Hats as she prefers. Another athlete with lots of speed, but not yet able to take a global medal on the long jump. She is a 570 jumper at her best. Sometimes the blades are tricky. There is what I would call a sweet spot on them. And the best way to describe that is if you've ever been on a diving board and you get to the end and you can feel when you were jumping on it and you're getting that spring back. When you hit your blade and it feels like that, that is when you fly.
I'll go with something different. It's like when you're on the trampoline and there's 2 people on the trampoline and you both hit at the same time and you bounce up. That, for me, is the sweet spot.
That is exactly it.
.502 and goes up into 5th position. And Sarah Walsh, who's 4th, goes now with her penultimate attempt.
So far, Walsh has only had 1 legal mark, a season's best of 5:14. Sometimes it takes a little time to establish your runway, particularly if the conditions are quite gusty. However, tonight has actually been quite still. And just as I've said that, we have now had one of the biggest headwinds we've seen so far of this competition, negative 2.3 meters per second. Most of the other wind measurements have actually been tailwinds, not headwinds, and so conditions can be tricky when the wind is swirling like that. But long jumpers know they have to jump outside. Some pretty amazing posters there for Maya Nakanishi. She clearly has brought the home crowd. She's currently sitting in the bronze medal position. 5 meters 17, just 3 centimeters above Sarah Walsh. So she's not safe yet. She will want to add a little bit more buffer to that. You can see each athlete has their own unique style in the air. Maya has almost a scissor kick around as she comes. 5 meters 25. She extends her lead over Walsh. She's sitting in bronze with just 1 more round left. Now, it's been a difficult competition so far for Marlene van Gansen-Wigel. She has jumped well, 5:45, but she struggled a little bit with her runway. But that jump in attempt 4, 5:45, was well behind the board. She's missing at least 20 centimeters there, so we know she can jump further. Once again, you can see she's not quite hitting the board. You can see the frustration. That blade not quite hitting the board. She has one more attempt to get it right. This is where you go, you chat it out with your coach, you get that frustration out, you don't want to take it with you. 5:41, again, she is jumping really, really well, just not quite getting credit for it.
Well, she's up in that silver medal position as she was last year. The season best, as you mentioned, she's starting her campaign with the World Championships as she heads towards Paris later in the year. There's the silver and bronze medalist from the long jump last evening.
That's one of the things the Dutch athletes are so good at. You will always see them in the crowd cheering each other on.
Umbiara and Joel de Jong.
I catch Noelle Roorda there as well. She was in the javelin.
Young's penultimate attempt.
Now, in that third attempt, 6:07, Young was well behind the board. Now, I saw her go back and adjust her mark for the fourth attempt, and that's when she got the foul. That one was perfectly placed. She already has a championship record at 6'53", and we will come back to update you with that result.
Yeah, loads going on here because we've got a mammoth final coming in the men's shot put F11. This is complete visual impairment. We've seen Semeti Matana Chapoa of Fiji. It's a 9:08 man. There are half a dozen plus in the field who go well beyond that. Siad Al-Krab, Saudi Arabia, Igor Baskakov, who's here as a neutral. Spajic of Montenegro.
Representing Finland,
Petteri Paitso of Finland, who normally have a really good-sized team, is a bit smaller this time.
representing Italy,
On a Tapia,
Ode,
very good in terms of the European Championships, representing Italy.
representing Kenya,
For Kenya, Rayab Chetty.
Rajab. Representing Croatia,
For Croatia, it's Miljenko Vucic. He's the second furthest thrower in the field in his career and in the season. Madi Olad has the longest lifetime best in this.
representing Panama,
Roger Saavedra of Panama,
Roger.
a regular podium placer himself.
Representing Venezuela,
Wilmer Zambrano
WJ.
of Venezuela,
Representing Islamic Republic of
the man who will be 12th to throw, Amir Hossein Alipur Darbaid. He's a 14-15 man. There are three in their career who've gone over 14. Nobody's done it this year. World record is 24 years old. Here's Saki.
Saki Takakua taking her final attempt, 4'67". Struggled a little bit to get on that board, but that hopefully was a valid jump for her final one. I'm looking at the referee now. I can tell you it has gotten the white flag. She will finish with a valid mark. Takakua was an athlete before losing her leg. She was training for a school athletics meet when she felt a twinge. Thought it was just a strain, but it was bone cancer. She lost part of her leg below the knee, and as soon as she had a blade, she was back running and jumping, and she finishes with another season's best, 4'79". Andreas Barrio, she chose to pass her fourth attempt. Now that paid off because she improved to 480 in the fifth round, and that jump looks farther than that. She looks pleased with it. Now she uses quite a short runway, and you can see the way she powers down. she surpassed the 5-meter barrier. Andreas Barrio is known for her dancing when she is pleased. In fact, that photo we were talking about, one of the most iconic photos of Parasport, was her dancing in the rain and celebrating. And she has moved up into 5th position. Beatrice Hatz was in 5th. She finished in 4th place in Paris last year. She's a good jumper. She's jumped 570, just hasn't yet managed to do it at a World Championships or Paralympics. Just 23 years old.
Just an update as well on the discus throw F52 final yesterday for the men. Alejandro dos Santos from Mexico, he appealed his 4th attempt that was called a foul. It was reinstated at 16:32. That means that he takes the bronze medal, relegating Skoukas to 4th place. So it means a bronze medal for Mexico in that one.
493 Hatz there.
There's always drama in the seated events, isn't there? That's what makes it exciting. So B. Hatz does not improve in her 5:02.
And Walsh won't either, and that was a moment to try and get the extra 11 centimeters.
She was so close to getting onto that podium. Sarah Walsh, again, another athlete who's always been there or thereabouts. She is a long jump specialist, and when you watch Walsh jump, she is a beautiful technician, and such a shame she just hasn't been able to put that jump together here.
So the top 3, we know the medalists are going to be. What's the order going to be? Nakanishi, 20 centimeters behind in 3rd, and a chance to go into maybe the silver medal position and break up the Dutch one too.
Nakanishi has been a world champion before in 2019, and her record at World Championships is so good. That one, unfortunately, a foul, but once again, she will be on that podium. She was there in 2017, 2019, 2023. Once again, 2024, that is your bronze medalist, and Japan now has 3 medals, all coming from the long jump. What an amazing moment to have, not only in your home country, but so close to where you grew up. Van Gansenwinkel has also had a little bit of trouble on this runway. Jumping incredibly well, and I think that reaction probably says how she feels about that jump better than I could. And you can see the frustration, and that frustration is simply from an athlete who knows she can jump better than that. There's a bigger jump in her. Now the good news is Paris is only 3 months away. Tilson, you said earlier it feels like it's coming around very fast. That's because it has. It's only been 3 years. And that is one of the benefits of coming out and doing these World Championships. You will not get a better test run than right here in Kobe.
Well, I think because we were in Paris last year as well, it seems like it's come around even quicker because of the fact it's in the same city.
That's the mark from the King Baudouin last year. And she actually led that long jump for a bit along with Ivana Spanovic, who's become a big fan of her now. So, hey, that was 670. What's coming here? Let's see.
Fleur Jong knows that she has this competition wrapped up. A championship record of 6'53", but this is an athlete who loves jumping under pressure. She loves having all eyes on her. And you can tell there she went for it. She was well over the board on that one. She knows it. She was giving it everything she had on that final jump, but it doesn't matter. That is your world champion.
Just save it for Paris, Fleur. That'll do nicely. Championship record, though, 6'53", won by almost a meter. And despite all of the frustrations of her friend and colleague, Marlene van Gansenwinkel, it's a silver as well. High five with Guido. Good news, great result. A Dutch one, too. success beforehand, double success here.
Two athletes, two teammates embracing. And what Marlene and Fleur and their coach Guido have done for para-athletics in the Netherlands. Both of them came into the sport through identification programs. They now have a club that is focused on getting more athletes, more young athletes into para-sport. And Maya Nakanishi is so good at getting on that podium at every world championships. We actually started our careers together in Beijing in 2008.
You always know. 1, 2, 3.
What a moment for Fleur Jean. Fleur Jean said it's a privilege to have two big tournaments in 1 year. Plenty of time to go back and fit in more training ahead of Paris, but I do hope she takes a chance to enjoy that victory.
They have a magnificent talent spotting program in the Netherlands. Some brilliant coaches, the national team coaches, and outside of that, Guido Bonson, who is the coach for these two.
You can see how much they enjoy each other's company. I can tell you from experience, all of the athletes there, and those three in particular, fantastic human beings and ferocious competitors.
And the thing is, they're both really high profile in the Netherlands as well. They've been in the front of magazines in the last year or two in the Netherlands. I know that from doing a bit of work in Belgium. This is Tomoki Sato writing his own headlines, winning the men's 400 T52 opening heat. Ainabaru, Japan 1-2, Torres, Perez also through, Zhong disqualified.
And in the second one, Maxim Karaban, the world champion, another championship record for him. Ito also through, and Mangla won. So that's what it looks like. The two fastest qualifiers, Perez Juarez and Fabian Blum, joined the rest in the final.
Really busy on the infield this evening, as it always is. Those world records, that world record for David Casinos goes back to 2000. He absolutely dominated this for a long time. And it's complete visual impairment. Men's shot put athletes are totally blind, have to wear, as you all know, the eyepieces just to make sure. And they're tested. The blindfolds. This is Chetty for Kenya. And that's out. You've got to say, actually, you don't see a huge amount of fouling in the F11s, actually, this is, not the T11s. Complete visual impairment, but a lot of the time, they still manage to get it in the right section, despite the complete visual impairment.
Well, that actually was straight, but the problem was that when he started, he was actually facing towards the side. So that was the problem there. So he did actually throw it straight, but when you're complete visual impairment, if you're facing that way, you throw it that way.
Vucic from Croatia, who've got a absolutely fantastic record when it comes to the throws. Actually, in terms of field events, full stop. That's a banger. That's gone right out to 13 meters. A couple of shot puts on right now. There's a women's F34 as well, which will keep you updated with. He's a 14.42 man. That is a lifetime best by 1.5 meters or thereabouts, so maybe just half a meter. It's the 13-meter line, not the 14, so it's half a meter. Sandra Perkovic is fantastic at the discus, was a hurdler earlier in her career. And then they just had a test day for different events where you do events that aren't your own. Turned out she was a really good thrower, so they said, right, you are not hurdling anymore.
Are you suggesting we have a T11 hurdle? Sprint hurdles?
We don't have hurdles in this, actually. And I remember talking to a very old colleague of ours for very many years. There's no para speed skating, which I would, if there was one sport I would love to do, it is speed skating. I think it's absolutely a great sport. Para speed skating, I would pay to work.
You're not talking about T11 though.
No!
I just wanted to clarify that.
No. You could have various categories of speed skating, and I think it would be a really good watch. Who was the Aussie speed skater? Stephen
Bradbury.
Stephen Bradbury. He had a very good TV career.
Oh, it's absolutely the best win of all time. Three people in front of him went down, and he just strolled on through with about 50 metres to go and took the gold.
And the best commentary, Roy and HG, on Aussie TV. And those of you
good.
watching tonight on 9, thanks for joining us all week. Very good Australian team here. Welcome aboard, as always. Nobody from Australia in this. Stephen Bradbury, yeah, he was something else. Olad here, Marty Olad, who is the furthest PBer in the field. Longest throw in his life. And that wasn't it, but hey, 13 meters-ish, it's not bad.
Can you imagine if Stephen Bradbury was told there was going to be a rerun like we're having in that 5,000 meters?
While we're waiting for this to come up, that was Salt Lake, wasn't it?
Salt Lake City 2002, in case you're interested. If you are interested, have a look at it, Google it, YouTube it, and you will just see Stephen Bradbury in the background, people hitting each other, and off he goes and takes the gold.
And that is a no throw, I'm afraid to say. Roger Saavedra of Panama will be the next to go. 11:15 is lifetime best this year. That was in the middle of the night European time. I just remember absolutely screaming the house down, which the neighbours would have really, really appreciated at 2 a.m.
Well, you live on a big property, so I don't know if anyone would have actually heard you.
Not back then, I didn't. Roger Saavedra. 11:15. Oh, that's a nice throw. That was around 11 meters. Actually, if I remember, the world feed commentary for that was done by Mike Carlson, who has commentated a few Paralympic Games. Great man. Years and years of NFL work. I know sorry.
So you can see the difference in technique there from the visually impaired athletes. Now, before Saavedra got into the circle, you could see he was actually feeling his way around that foul line, just orienting himself in the space, and he has chosen to throw from a static position because obviously when you're moving and you can't see, it's a little bit easier from a static position to keep your understanding of where your body is in space.
Well, thanks for bringing us back to the present time. Here's the women's long jump T64 final result. Fleur Jong, Marlene van Gansenwinkel and Maya Nakanishi with the top 3 places. A championship record again for Fleur Jong as we go back to the track. Men's 100 metres T13 final. There's a name in this one you might know. It's Kashafali.
2 great names on screen there. One dominated for many years, and I have a feeling this man will do so for very many more. Kashafali, who took the T12 honours in the 100 metres in Tokyo at Mani, won the 400. He's alongside him. This is a really strong field. Skander at Mani, the 400 metres world record holder, and who for a very long time, and still may actually, hold the outright Algerian 100 metres record. Jason Smith, who dominated this for a long time, is still 3rd in the all-time Irish list. I'm not talking para-athletics, I'm talking all athletics. At Manian 5, Kashafali 6, Chad Paris 7, Philip Handler in 8. He's won 100 metres medals in the last 4 Europeans. But this man, Kashafali, set the world record at the Bislett Games. He won 2 races in Oslo at the Bislett Games as part of the Diamond League circuit. Alongside him, Chad Paris.
Men's 100-meter T13
for Australia.
In lane 2, representing Thailand, Damuni Javelin.
Now there's been a change here. Damune is out and Maxima Zillier is in as a reserve for Germany.
Mina Aponza.
In lane 3 for Colombia, Paralympic 100 bronze medalist
In lane
Jean
4,
Mina.
representing
In lane
Japan,
4 for Japan, global championship debut, shooter Kawakami. In lane 5, the Paralympic 400 meters champion, still the Algerian record holder. Silver in the 100 in Tokyo behind Jason Smith, Skander Atmani. In lane 6 for Norway,
in lane 6,
the defending champion.
Norway.
2 in a row he's already claimed. He's the European champion, the Paralympic champion as well, Salam Kashafali. Some of those at T12. In lane 7 for Australia, the 3-time world championship medalist, it's Chad Paris, the White Tiger. In lane 8 for Switzerland, 4 European bronze medals in the glorious career of Philip Handler. And in lane 9 for Namibia, the 3-time world champion, most recently 2019 over 400, Johannes Nambala of Namibia. 10:37 is Kashafali's world record from that brilliant
In lane 2,
Bislett Stadium track.
is Max
And Max Marzilia is in at the 11th hour. A late withdrawal for Thailand's Jacqueline Damane. The Asian Games and Southeast Asian champion, but he will not be a world champion tonight. Max take it to the max. Atmani will too. This is a brilliant field. Jason Smith days, the long era. A successor is waiting to be crowned long term. T13, category least visual impairment, up to 20% vision. It's Max Marzillier in 2, Jean Mina 3, Shuta Kawakami 4, Skander Atmani 5, Salam Kashafali 6, Chad Paris 7, Philip Handler 8, Johannes Nambala is in lane 9. The final of the men's 100 meters. T13.
Set.
Away first time. Kashafali's got away brilliantly, and Atmani too alongside. It's Atmani leading the way. Atmani's going to be the world champion, and he's got it. 10:46, championship record. Kawakami was second for Japan, and Kashafali was third for Norway. What a win for Skander Atmani. It's his first Para-athletics 100 meters title. Kashafali was the massive favorite in that. He didn't get it. Championship record, African record for Atmani. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's an outright Algerian record too in all athletics. Kawakami Asian record in second, and Kashafali a big upset in third, 10:79, and Chad Paris in fourth has an Oceania record, 10:82. What a race that was, what a win that was, and it's Skander Atmani.
I don't think I can put it better than that scream from Atmani about how good that race was. Coming into this, you would have thought Kashafali had this, and he looks to have finished in bronze. And we saw this in the T12. We thought Noah Malone was going to win by a mile, and instead Yildirim of Turkey came away with the win. And it just shows you cannot hang medals around people's necks. And gone are those days when you could come and predict who was going to win. It is just getting so competitive. And just to put that time into perspective, the Olympic qualifying time is 10 meters flat. And I know that, yes, that is still a big distance in terms of sprint, but it just shows you how quick these men are getting.
Well, Kashafali is one of the fastest men in Norway, full stop. He's normally in the national championships. He's an able-bodied competition. Atmani as well. What a sensational final. Atmani wins it. Championship record, African record, 10:44. Kawakami second, 10:70 Asian record. Kashafali third for Norway, 10:79. And Chad Paris fourth, Oceania record. That was some contest. He can bask in the glory.
F11 shot put continuing. Igor Baskakov, currently in second position. He was a silver medalist in the European Championships back in Bydgoszcz in 2021. Competing as a neutral para-athlete.
I just want to make a quick word about Atmani. He still holds the Algerian outright record. That's 10:29. but that doesn't count, obviously, towards para-athletics records as it was against able-bodied athletes.
This is the second round of competition. We're now down to 9 in the field. That's out near the 13-metre mark. Baskakov with his opener was 13.11. Marty Olad, who's the reigning champion here and the Paralympic champion, a foul in his first, so he's yet to register a mark. We had 4 of the athletes fouling in that first set of throws. 12.85, the second one there for Baskakov, so he hasn't improved. Milos Spike. With his first effort was 10.92. He's currently in 5th position. The Montenegrin. I always marvel at anything to do with T11 or F11, especially something like this where there's a board in front of you and they manage to get it absolutely perfect. Just like that.
It's easy to not appreciate how difficult it is to do that fully blindfolded. All movements are more difficult when we can't use our eyes for balance because we actually use them quite a bit for proprioception. To do a complex movement like that is quite impressive.
10.23, so way off his first. He doesn't improve, he stays in 5th position. Season best at the moment for the top 3. And that will go on for a little while yet, the men's shot put F11. So in the meantime, we'll head back to the track events and the men's 200 metres T35 final. The world record holder, who's to the right of screen there, Dmitry Safronov. There are 3 neutral para-athletes going in this, and then Maximiliano Villa of Argentina is going in lane 6. So the world record holder, Safronov, the championship record holder and the reigning champion.
200 meters, T35
Ihor
final.
Sviatov is not competing here at these championships.
Lane 8, representing neutral para-athlete.
Artem Kalashian,
Kalashian
he won silver
Artem.
back in 2015 in Doha. He was a bronze medalist in Dubai in 2019. He's also
Lane
won
7,
silver at the Europeans
neutral
back in
para-athlete.
2016 as well. Safronov,
Dmitry.
gold in Tokyo in the 100 and 200 metres.
Lane 6, representing
World record holder.
Argentina. Villa
17 years of age.
Maximiliano.
At his first major championships, it's Maximiliano Villa.
Lane 5, representing
And
neutral
David
para-athlete.
Zaitev, just 21 years of age himself,
David.
will go from lane number 5. So there are 4 going. It is the T35 coordination
Men's
impairment
200
category.
meters T35 final starts now.
That record of Safronov, by the way, that world record set in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, 23 seconds exactly. So Zaitsev in 5, Villa in 6, Safronov in 7, and Kalashian in lane 8. Men's 200 metres T35 final.
Set.
And they all jump with no issues at all. And getting away very quickly is Safronov, that world record holder. But also around the inside lane 5, Zvarev has made a wonderful bend, and he has the lead as they straighten up going down the home straight. As Safronov is working hard, though Zvarev has on the inside. Safronov's trying to get at him. I don't know whether he's going to get there, though. It's going to be the youngster who takes it, 21 years of age. He comes home in a time of 23.41 seconds, and he takes the gold medal. David Zvarev, running as a neutral para-athlete at 21 years of age, has taken out Safronov, the world record holder. The Paralympic champion has had to settle for a silver. 23.58 for Safronov. Kalashian makes a neutral 1-2-3. And Via 24.97, a season best for all 4 athletes in that one. Well, 21 years of age at his first major championships, and he never looked out of place at all. He ran the bend absolutely wonderfully, Steph.
That is quite something to come in at 21 and take out the world record holder. But sometimes that's the benefit of being new. And I remember my first Paralympics, and it was almost like I didn't know enough to be scared. I just went out and did my thing, and you could see Safronov coming under pressure and him tightening up. Whereas Datiev just, he was so smooth right to the end.
Yeah, he was smooth, all right. There's a few faces in the crowd watching on in awe. Season bests for all 4 athletes. Zvarev, Safronov and Kalashian all running as neutrals, and Via of Argentina taking 4th place.
Back to the F11 men's shot, and it's Madi Olad who's trying to get on the board. He's definitely gone on the board there. It's a white flag. It's around 12 meters. That is a good quality effort from him. Might have just seen flash through, by the way, new Oceania record for Sumeti Mata Nituboa. He's 49 years old, 9:08 his lifetime best coming into it. He's improved on it. And Olad, oh, that's an improvement, all right. 12:53. He's knocking on the door of the medals. He's up to 5th. Roger Saavedra of Panama. 10:91. Just a shade behind his lifetime best from earlier this year. He's 1 centimetre behind 6th. Obviously getting the spatial awareness right. It's not going to be much of a run-up from him. It's the technique he's comfortable with. And he's got that right down the middle. It's just beyond 11 meters or thereabouts for Roger Saavedra.
I guess it's that question, as you say, the choice of technique between consistency. It's a throw that he's comfortable with, but he would be losing a little bit of power. The idea behind the shot put is you use your body to get that shot moving, already accelerating before you release it. But again, if you're new and you're just learning the technique, it's definitely better to go with something that is consistent.
10th last time. 16th before that. And he's got to get all his throws in, I think. Wilmer Zambrano of Venezuela again missed out in the opening round. That was a no throw. 12:20, the lifetime best this year. Now this is going to be a bit more of a run-up for him. It's quite a bit of ground to cover. Get the technique right, a couple of steps back. That's a superb throw beyond 11 meters, and just to keep the control, make sure that you're not running too far and topple over, and make sure you're throwing it in the correct direction. So much calculation.
And even at the end there, as he continues spinning, he has to be so careful he doesn't go over that marker, that foul line. And again, just to maintain your balance without sight is a huge, huge athletic challenge.
11:41, and he goes 6th. Another of the greats who we'll see later, Amara Duran. She once was in the T13s. Not anymore. Women's 200 meters final incoming. And they have all won major championship medals in their time. All of them in the past 12 months. Melissa Calvo of Costa Rica, Mana Sasaki of Japan, Rayan Suarez of Brazil, and Erin Kerkhoff of the United States.
Representing United States.
So in lane 8 for the USA,
Kerkhoff, Erin.
Bronze in the 200 meters last year in Paris from Coralville, Iowa, Erin Kerkhoff. In lane 7 for Brazil,
Suarez da Silva,
the former 400 meters
Rayan.
world champion, Pan Am 100 and 400 champion now, Rayan Suarez da Silva. In lane 6 for Japan, Asian Games silver in the 100 last year, formerly the Asian 400 champ, Mana Sasaki. And in lane 5, silver in the 400 last year at the Pan Ams in Santiago, Melissa Calvo. 8th in the 100 last year.
200 meter T13 final.
Quite a few of the classifications have had the 200 meter races gone. The men's 200 not run in T13 for a few years. The women's 200
On your mark.
is still in the present day. Kerkhoff, by the way, was WAMAC Conference 400 meters champion in the NCAA circuit. Originally from Rochester in Minnesota, into the University of Northern Iowa. She's in 8. Suarez da Silva with that Pan Am double last year in Santiago. She's in 7. Sasaki in 6. Former Asian Games champion Calvo in 5.
Set.
Women's 200. And it's underway. Solid start by Kerkhoff. Suarez has got off really well for Brazil in lane 7. And Sasaki with so much home support in 6. But Suarez dominating for the moment in this T13 final. It's Rayan Suarez for Brazil. Erin Kerkhoff coming up well behind. Bronze for Kerkhoff last year. Will be silver this time. Suarez to take it. Kerkhoff second. Sasaki third for Japan. 24.91 the winning time. And Rayan Suarez is the world champion. What a really good victory. And she dominated from start to finish. She has smashed her lifetime best by half a second. Erin Kerkhoff not too far off. Hey, she's equaled it with a silver medal for the United States. A superb result for her. And Mana Sasaki, likewise, with her first ever global medal.
Taking half a second off your personal best in a short sprint is huge, and you can see the reason why she did it. She blasted out and ran that curve hard, and the difference between a 200 and a 100 meters, it is that curve. There is an element of teaching your body to run around that curve, and it's different from the straight. And when you get it right and you can accelerate into the straight, and you see she just kept moving away, that is when you get those fast times. And the benefit for Erin Kerkhoff being in the lane beside her, sometimes you'll get dragged to a fast time as well.
It's T13, it's the category of least visual impairment, but at best 20% vision. What a really impressive win. It's almost half a second away from Amara Duran's world record in winning the title in Christchurch in 2011. Rayan Suarez, he took the 400 crown 5 years ago in Dubai. Suarez, the 200 champion now, lifetime best, 24.89 for Brazil. Erin Kerkhoff, the silver for the United States. And Mana Sasaki, Sasaki Mana, the bronze for Japan.
Well, here's Batskakov again. There are others in this competition, trust me. We seem to have Baskakov every time we show it, but he's in second position, 13.11 and 12.85.
He's in the limelight.
Plane flying overhead, trying to get a good look at him as well. So Baskakov with his third attempt, and that's out past the 13-metre mark. That may be challenging, his 13.11 with his opener. Straight as a die down the middle, easy as you like. Well, he's a self-medalist in European Championships. He might be a self-medalist or better in the World Championships. 13.15, so he has improved his season best by 4 centimetres. A Spake comes up for his third. What can the man from Montenegro come up with? He's currently in 8th position. 10.92, his best to date. He's 11.39, his lifetime best. His season best, 11.10. As we wait to see what he's come up with. Oh, 10.45, I can't speak.
Tell me about it.
So no improvement there for Milos Spake. Back on the track. It's the men's 200 metres T37 final, which is next up. Andre Verdovin with the championship record, who we saw in the last heat a moment or two ago, who's now T35. Nick Mayhew, who's now 238, has the world record. Yes, over 200 metres. And there are a field of 8 who are going in it. It does contain the man who's the reigning champion, Ricardo Gomez de Mendonca.
Men's 200-meter T37 final. In lane 9, representing Saudi Arabia, Al-Nahili Ali.
Ali Al-Nakli will go from out in lane number 9. He was 5th in the 100 metres here already. Panomo, who's the Asian Para Games champion. He took bronze in the 100, already medalled here. Mikhail Kotkowski.
Kotkowski Michael.
He'll go in lane number 6.
In lane 5, representing NPA, Dovin Andre.
I'll give you a bit of breaking news in a moment or two
In lane
as well.
4,
Verdovin will go, who won silver in the 100 metres.
Sofia.
And Hamdi of Algeria will go in lane 4.
Representing Brazil,
Vicente Pinheiro,
Edson.
who won gold way back in 2007. He was 4th in the 100 here. And Ronald Rich, his first major championship. Now, the reigning champion, who has already taken gold here in the 100 metres, Ricardo Gomez de Mendonca, does not start. So he's the reigning world champion. He's won the 100 metres here. He is withdrawn from the 200 metres. He will not start in this race. After a season best in his heat, Gomez de Mendonca does not start in the final. So we have 7 who are going in this. Lane 7 is absent. Well, there's a second gun then. There's 2 guns definitely went. They had to go with a third one because I wasn't sure if it was an echo of that first. Now, from that angle we just saw then, that was hard to see who actually broke the plane. Now, Ronald Rich is standing there, so let's just have a look at him. Yep, there is Ronald Rich, who just has a bit of a stutter at the beginning. Now, this will be an interesting one because I don't think he's actually gone over the line. He did move.
We saw something similar to this earlier in the week, and in this classification, T37, athletes have the option to use blocks or not. And because of that, the start information system isn't turned on. We're not calling false starts because of reaction times. It's a visual call by the technical official.
And you remember what happened in that? There was a protest, and then later on, the athlete raced against the clock by himself and was allowed back in to get a time. Now, it didn't make a difference on that occasion, and I suspect there might just be a warning at best here. However, we still haven't had a decision made. Now,
so in this classification, there can be twitching at the start line, and so it's not unusual for an athlete perhaps to be moving a little bit, and so the call will be looking at, was there an intent to go, or is it just that the athlete lost their balance?
well, to the naked eye, it looked like he lost his balance, didn't it? We were looking from behind on that angle there, though, so it makes it a bit more problematic to make a judgment. So there's a lot of talking going on. I think he's a bit concerned, the Botswanan.
As an athlete, though, if I was an athlete, this is where the acting skills come in. You stand there as though you belong there and you did nothing wrong.
Well, unfortunately, we've seen the red card, so for Ronald Rich, his race is run. He won't be competing in this 200 metres T37. He has been disqualified. There's disappointment. You could see the angst on his face when the decision was about to be made. So Ronald Rich of Botswana, first major championship, will not be taking part in the final. So we now have two missing, with the reigning champion, Ricardo Gomez de Mendonca, not starting. And now a disqualification from lane 2 on our left of screen there. Ronald Rich of Botswana is out as well. So 6 to go now from what was a original starting field of 8.
On your marks.
The 9-time World Championship gold medal winner and championship record holder Verdovin, though, is going. And he is in lane 5. So Pinheiro in 3, Hamdi in 4, Verdovin in 5, Kotkowski in 6, Panomo in 8, and Arnakli in lane 9. And this time we are away without any issues at all. And moving very fast indeed is Verdovin in lane 5. He's already up on the shoulder of Kotkowski of Poland, and they're looking like a straight line across them as they come down the straight, but Verdovin puts the afterburners on. Kotkowski's trying to go with him, but it is going to be Andre Verdovin who takes it from Kotkowski. 23.11 is the time, and I think it's the Asian champion Panomo who's picked up the bronze medal in 3rd place. But it's Andre Verdovin who's claimed yet another World Championship gold. I make that 10 for the man competing as a neutral para-athlete in this one. Kotkowski tried to go with him. 23.44, and Panomo has picked up a bronze in a season best time of 23.61, seeing off Arnakli, the Saudi Arabian who came 4th.
I feel like this race would have been as much a test of speed as it was the mind. When they saw that Gomez de Mendonca didn't show up into the call room, already you're starting to think, maybe I'm going to get a podium, maybe now that he's gone, I have a chance at a different color medal. And then you had that false start. Once again, you have to come back and reset yourself, and Verdovin did that without trouble, able to keep his composure and still run his race with all that going on in the background.
Yeah, it was a strange old 5 or so minutes, wasn't it? First of all, you're expecting Gomez de Mendonca to come into the race and defend his title. That doesn't happen. Then we get a disqualification from Ronald Rich. We finally get going, and it's the man who makes it 10 World Championship golds next to Kokowski, who's the former European champion, and the Asian champion, Panomo, takes the bronze. He also took bronze last year, so he's made it 2 in a row. Verdovin with a season best gold, Kokowski silver, Panomo season best for him, takes the bronze medal. Ronald Rich disqualified. Gomez de Mendonca, the former champion, didn't start.
And he's not the only one. I notice that in the women's 400 meters T12, Omara Durand is down as not starting. That will be on in 15 minutes time. She is in Japan. She did arrive with her coach and her guide. Not sure what the story is, but we will not be seeing her in the next quarter hour. Shot put, what a whopper. What a throw by Amir Hossein. Alipour Darbayed for Iran. It's well beyond 13 meters, it's well beyond 14 meters. And that's the lead by a long way.
Now that was a stunning pirouette at the end of that throw by such a strong man.
Fantastic celebration too. That is lifting of the highest order. That's a new championship record. The mark from Lille 22 years ago by David Casinos is gone. That was 1456. This is 1461. He was leading anyway. 13:44 from the opening round. Baskakov, who's an NPA, is in second, and One Tapia in third for Italy. So lots happening all round, and the men's Javelin F38, the not only strongest physically of coordination impairment athletes, mild asymmetry, good power and control, and some really good athletes here.
6 to go. 6 were named and 6 will start. And the reigning world champion and Paralympic champion to the left of the screen there, Jose Lemos. Former champion Corey Anderson of Australia in there as well. Now you may remember this man from last year in Paris.
Representing Colombia,
He set a new world record at the end of last year.
representing Algeria,
It is Jose Lemos. Algeria's Lazar Ziamni with a lifetime best of 38.18. Corey Anderson of Australia, who won gold back in 2019, beating everyone in Dubai. Lifetime best of 58.18 for him.
representing Colombia,
Luis Fernando Lukumi Viejas will go fourth from Colombia. He took silver last year behind
representing People's
Lemos.
Republic of China,
and Dongquan, the bronze medalist at the Asian Para Games last year.
representing
And David
Georgia,
Captarazzi,
David.
his season best, his lifetime best, as he builds towards the Paris Paralympics of 38.53. So 6 will go. In the men's javelin throw, F38. Diagonally opposite where we see the F11 men's shot put.
It's Spajic, 10.92 opening round for Montenegro. He survived only just in 8th spot to get 3 additional throws. much further can he actually go beyond this? It's where the tiredness begins to come in, and obviously throwing in rotation, as in regular competition. 12:59 is his lifetime best. He's nowhere near it today. 11:10 is his season's best, though. So he's a bit closer to that. He's still in 8th spot. We've seen Roger Saavedra do this, just to get the spatial awareness right. Couple of steps. They've got an increasing parasport program in quite a few different sports now, which is really gratifying to see. A lot based in Panama City, the National Centre. Ooh, I think he stepped out of the ring there, didn't he? Stepped out of the circle, it's a red flag. You'll just see on the left, foot out. And the throw was shy of 11 meters anyway, but step out before the landing and you will get the red flag for the man in the red vest. Wilmer Zambrano. And he's in 6th spot, 11:48. You can see there are considerable gaps above him. And you've got 4 men who are battling really for silver and bronze. Ali Portar Bayed. We might comfortably give the ribbon of the medal. Not quite the medal yet, but it's not far off it. Big lead. .12:20 is lifetime best set this year. Good old spin there. It's a red flag though. So 2 of his 4 attempts are no throws.
You could just see there at the end of that throw, that foot creeping out. You have to do 2 things. 1, you need to throw far, but 2, you have to then check yourself and maintain your balance after that huge output of power.
So many elements to get right. Madi Olad is in his day been a 14:80 man. Today he's beyond 30. Now that might put him into greater medal contention. It really should.
I have to say, again, another stunning pirouette. It's always a little bit shocking to see just how graceful shot putters are.
13 meters, 28, and Olad Madi is up into the silver medal position. It's Janko Vucic of Croatia slips down to 5th. Set a new season's best as well with his first round throw.
And this is 4th attempt. We are now down to the top 8 as they all take their 4th effort. The European champion. He's the silver medalist from Tokyo as he builds towards the Paralympics later in the year. 12:88 is best so far. He's quite some way off his lifetime best, isn't he? 14:42. So a bit of work to do yet as Oni Tapia gets himself into a position to step into the circle as we still wait for Vucic's mark to come up. Sometimes the system works quickly, sometimes it doesn't.
A little bit of drama building.
If he was at the top, I'd say yes. But I don't think that one's going to be near the top. So maybe there's an issue with the system. It's still being marked out.
Are they trying to work out which divot
I was just looking at that. I was just thinking, do they actually know where it landed?
So it's funny, this happened to Betty Heidler at the London Olympics.
He's actually gone about a metre further back now. So we've gone on this side of the line. Now, perhaps they've had to have a look at the monitor and see where it landed.
It's as if maybe it's gone into a divot that was already there, because that's what happened to Heidler. And there was a big difference in distance. She appealed it, went to a TV replay. First time it went to that at Olympic Games, and she ended up winning the silver. Otherwise, she'd have been 5th.
Well,
I just wonder if something similar has happened here.
That's what they're obviously being told now. There's a walkie-talkie out there with the officials, and I think someone's had a look at the replay and said, I think you need to move a bit. So they're going to have a look, I think, at the actual... Or is there an issue with the actual measure itself? But I can tell you at one point it was in a completely different position where the mark was going to go from.
Well, now, this is what happened. It was a really good throw out, and there you see it bounces. We're getting the Vucic's shot. There was chalk dust. It was chalk dust. Lovely evening here. Darkness beginning to fall. The moon is out.
It certainly is. It's looking lovely in the sky.
So now, the women's 400 meters T12. Amara Duran, the world record holder, the defending champion. She is due in this heat of the women's 400 meters. But we are not going to see her. There's only 2 in it. Now, this is T12, so it's the middle category of visual impairment. Guides are optional. Shen Yakin is going for one here. She is in 5. Amara Duran is supposed to be in lane 3. She is not here. She is in Japan. She did arrive. Just check the Cuban newspapers there a few minutes ago, and she is here, but she's not where she's supposed to be right now. And neither, by the way, is Yokotan Kolpakova of Uzbekistan, who's supposed to be in lane 7. So there's 2 in this. It's only the winners go through women's 400 meters T12. Lane 5 for China.
People's Republic of China.
The Asian Games silver medalist in the 4 last year, bronze in the 1 and the 2. Shen Yakin and her guide Li Wen. And in lane 1, without Amara Duran,
In lane 1,
in a 3rd World Championships for Moldova, Evelina Kristina Krejci. Now, her chances of going through have massively improved. There are 3 heats in this. It's only the winners to go through, plus the next fastest. Amara Duran does not start. The 14-time world champion, the 22-time global champion. 35 major gold medals to her name. This is going to be a 400 meters race with 2 people in it. Well, 2 lead athletes and a guide, so yeah, 3, but 2 entrants. So no Duran, no Kolpakova, maybe they came in the same bus. Away we go. Kretu in 1, Shen in 5 with a guide Li Wen, and in many ways it's a time trial and it's T12. It's up to 5% vision. So these athletes are maybe enough of a distance away from each other that they are not fully visible, certainly in the case of Kretu. Shen Yakin is not going to have any awareness of Kretu's position until the closing straight, and it's a clean pair of heels from the 33-year-old Chinese athlete so far. Kretu is 31 years old. She's a 108 runner. Shen is 59 seconds. Kretu has never qualified for a major championship final, not even at the Europeans. I wager this is her best ever chance. The world record mark has just passed now. Shen Yakin is going to win this. She's going to be in the final so long as Li Wen gets the finish right, and he has. Shen wins it. It's 103.13 in a really remarkable race. Kretu in 2nd spot. No Omara Duran, no party, but Shen will have one in her 4th World Championship. She missed Paris. Kretu was there, went out in the heats of the 1, the 2, and the 4. Kretu will be very close this time. What an oddity.
Now, Amara Durand not starting changes the race entirely, especially for Shen. Had Durand been there with only the first qualifying in each heat, she would have had to run a full-out race trying to get a PB just to qualify as the fastest loser. Instead, she finds herself with a 10-second buffer over Kretu. I think she actually ran that much harder than she needed to. She really could have taken it easy, but she is now in to her first global final. The reality is you can only race who shows up.
And the truth is, because there's no Omara Durand, I'm not sure there's anybody in the competition who's ever been a world champion. Them's the breaks.
Well, the javelin, we're going to join. The F38, not a huge field going in this one, but a very good field nonetheless.
Just want to say, by the way, I mentioned Betty Heidley earlier, and it's in my head that I said she was in the discus, but she was one of the great hammer throwers in the world, if you were screaming at your TV in Germany. Which happens a lot anyway.
Usually just screaming at you.
What's new?
So no surprises that Lemos leads. His 3rd attempt didn't better his 2nd, which was the best one. It is a championship record. Just to build the suspense. 56.75. That championship record before that was set by Corey Anderson, who's in this field. That was back when he won gold in Dubai in 2019. So that man there now holds the championship record along with the world record. It was set in Santiago last year in the Pan American Games. Didn't improve with his 3rd attempt. That was only 55.58. But he leads by around 4 meters or so over another Colombian in Villegas. This is Lazar Zimini. He has a best so far of 34.89. That was with his opener. 27.90 with his 2nd. So it's currently out of the medal positions by some distance. Now, these are all F38s in this field. Sometimes we might have an F37 in there as well. F38 coordination impairment category. The least impaired, this one. 35.78. So he does improve. The Algerian, but he stays in 5th position. Here is Corey Anderson. There's no messing about. 48.84 is best so far, and that's there or thereabouts. 45.48 with his opener. He's just seen his championship record mark of 56.28 that he set back in 2019, beaten by Lemos, and he's a good distance off that. He's 8 metres off that at the moment, Corey Anderson. Yeah, and I said it was around the same mark, 48.20. So he is in 3rd position, but he has some work to do. We'll come back to that. Isn't that lovely? Bit of howling going on at the moment, no doubt.
Shen through, 103.09. Kretu will have to wait. Amara Durand and Yokatan Kolbakova did not start. And that changes everything then in this 400 metres. That's the hill away to our right, among the hills and the mountains in Kobe.
As we head back to the women's 400 metres T12, the second heat of 3 set to go in what is now a wide open competition. Why, you may ask? Because if you're just joining us, Amara Durand did not start in the opening of the 3 heats. So it does make it a little bit different for those who are still involved. 4 set to start in this one who have been named, and there are 4 out on the track.
Women's 400 meter T12, round 1, heat 2.
So out in lane 7, the 17-year-old
Representing Namibia,
from Namibia,
Ipinge Laja.
Laja Apind, will go from out on the outside lane.
In lane 5, representing Brazil,
Lorraine Gomez de Agua. She was a bronze medalist last year at the Pan American Games, a lifetime best of 58.33.
In lane 3,
Season best of 59.58.
From
the Dominican Republic, Darlenis de la Cruz. 59.47 is the lifetime best for the 23-year-old, and inside her, and 22-year-old from Portugal, Marcia Araujo of Portugal. So just the one
women's 400 meter
will go through, and then after the 3 heats, we shall have our best qualifier out of the lucky losers.
On your marks.
Just to let you know, that time at the moment is 1:10.74 by Kretu in the opening heat. So whoever wins this race will go through, and then the next will have to beat that time to sit in the hot seat.
Stand up, please.
Until after the 3rd heat.
Stand up, please.
Well, they've been asked to stand. I think the issue's coming from over at the F11 shot put. Bit of noise happening. Now, this is the medium visual impairment category. But all of these athletes have opted to run with a guide. You know, I tell you what, we might have had an issue down there in lane 7. It might have been a Pinjay's blocks that might have caused a problem. Bit of technical work being done down there. Now, are the officials happy? been a couple of technical issues in the last half an hour or so. We had one in the shot put here where we were just waiting for the correct mark to be given, and now we've got this problem here. Now, it certainly wasn't anything to do with any of the athletes, but it does put a bit more pressure on, doesn't it, as they have to wait and wait to find out what's going on and when they're going to start.
It does. It causes a little bit of an interruption to the routine. But the technical officials are doing exactly the right thing. They have to be confident. They have to be sure in their equipment because they want to do what's best and what's fair for the athlete. And even though they are making them wait, the worst thing would be to have to come back and rerun a race if there's an issue with the starting blocks, with the timing system. It's a tough job being an official.
Yeah, no, you are right. It is a tough job, and one of the officials down there and the technical advisors seem to be the hardest worker in the stadium every single day. He's been kept busy. Green card has been shown because it's got no issue with the athletes, but it does create a bit of anxiety amongst them, no doubt, waiting around.
On your marks.
And we are set to go. So, Pinjay of Namibia in 7. Gomes de Agua of Brazil in 5. De la Cruz of Dominican Republic in 3. And Araujo of Portugal will go in lane 1. There's a great shot of that tether that if they're running with a guide, has to be a certain length, has to be attached at all times, and when they finish, the athlete has to cross the line first before the guide. Whilst the tether is still attached, mind.
Set.
So away they go. Finally we get there. And it is De La Cruz who's moving up very fast indeed of the Dominican Republic on Gomes, and she's gone past there, but she's pulled out already. There's been an issue with De La Cruz. So she's gone. Araujo keeps on going on the inside there. Issue in lane 3. So De La Cruz of the Dominican Republic, the 23-year-old, is out. Maybe a hamstring. We'll see in a moment or two's time. But out in front now, it's Gomes de Agua of Brazil, who's rounding the bend with about 110 to go. She'll come up to that 100-metre mark. And Pinjay of Namibia, the 17-year-old, is going to have to stick with it. This is where the burn starts to really happen in the 400. And Gomes de Agua is showing no signs of it, though. She kept her speed all the way through, and she's going to take the first place and through to the final in a time of 59.29. Pinjay of Namibia comes in second place, and it is Araujo in third. But there's no finish in sight for the athlete on the far side, De La Cruz of Dominican Republic. She pulled up in that back straight after around 150 metres. It is a season best time for the Brazilian. Gomes de Agua, she will go through to the final. Araujo in 108.73. That puts her into the best qualifying position. So she'll now await the third of the heats. You just saw there De La Cruz pulling up on that back straight. So an issue there, but no issues at all for Gomes de Agua of Brazil. She moves through to the final.
It was hard to see what happened there. It didn't look that dramatic.
And I tell you why Araujo has been given the second position, because Pinjay has been disqualified. So perhaps there was a tether issue as they went around, but she has been disqualified. We'll try and find out the reason for that. But she did finish second across the line, but it is Araujo who's been promoted into second place. So, well, I tell you what, the women's 400 metres T12 have provided plenty of drama already in the 2 heats, and we haven't even got through the third one or to the final.
It has not gone to form. I think what they're asking for right now, I wonder if that's she wants to finish the race, or maybe they're asking her to come off because They need to get that next
Yeah, that's,
heat
that's
going.
Dela Cruz, who's a DNF. But Pinjay did finish in second position, but disqualified. Araujo, though, 108.73. She now sits in that lucky loser position until we have our third and final heat. Goodness me.
As John Hanmer said once during a Grand National, carnage. And this is 8 entrants. We've only had 4 finishes so far. It was a very quick disqualification for Pingy as well, wasn't it?
I just wonder whether it was a tether issue, because it must have been something that was very, very obvious. Perhaps, actually, there was a lane violation. Who knows?
There's no number come up yet. It just says DQ, but it was a very quick disqualification. So we can only shrug. It's a really curious competition. 7.95, so that's a tethering issue. That's what she's gone for. Maddie Olad, bronze medal position, men's shot put, F11. We're in the last round. It ends here. It's shy of 13. It will be bronze for Olad. He will not get any higher, but what a result for him. Maddie Olad picks up 3rd spot. The 2019 champion comes home in 3rd here. Or does he? Vucic has another go. $12.88. Shy of that mark, it certainly looks. 11.96 for Olad. Tapia still has a go as well. Olad's brilliant throw in the 4th round knocked on a Tapia down. Tapia, who won silver in the discus in Dubai. Being the world record holder in it. This is his moment. Can he get beyond 13? Needs 30 centimetres more on top of what he's done. That is shy of the 13-metre line. And Tapia will finish 4th. Olad has the bronze. He's had better in the past, but he will leave Kobe with some merchandise. It's 4th for Tapia. Good set of marks. There's only, apart from the 3rd one, 30 centimetres between them all. There's always one. Olad definitely now gets the bronze. Baskakov and Alipour still to throw. Baskakov with a lifetime best of 13.62. Well, if he adds another metre onto that lifetime best, he'll win the gold. He was a 13.22 man before today. This is his lap of honour for the silver, because he was not going to get a gold medal winning throw. It was too far. He's had the throw of his life. It's the result of his life. And he gets the World Championship silver. We've seen a lot of them tonight. It's really great timing. Baskakov, 13.62, his best. That was the only one that actually broke his lifetime best previously of 13.22. Here's our champion, Alipour Dabaid of Iran. Look at that set of marks. He's only had one throw. That's enough to be a gold medal winning throw, 14.61. 3 no throws. Nice, a real spinner. White flag. Alipour Darbaid gets the gold. He is a fine champion. His first global championship, he is only 22 years old, and he is the world champion. That was an immense throw. This has been an immense women's 400 meters T12
Women's 400
for very
meter
many reasons.
T12, round 1, heat 3.
From the Dominican Republic, Manuela Jacinto,
Representing
and her guide
Dominican
Rylan
Republic,
Geraldo
Jacinto
for the
Santana,
Dominican Republic, silver in the 400
Manuela
at the
and
Pan Ams
guide
last year.
Geraldo Manuel.
In lane 5 for Iran, the Asian Games 200 meters champion, it's Hajar Safarzada Gaderajani. She's 24. In lane 3 for Brazil, looking for her first major championship final, Catalina Teodoro and her guide Rodrigo Arcanja.
In lane 1, representing
And in lane 1 for Spain, made her international debut in last year's Worlds, Gara Fuentes and her guide Jaime Del Rio.
And now women's 400 meter T12 round 1.
So it's the winner to go through. Catalina Teodoro, the fastest of the field this year and in her career.
On your marks.
And suddenly the door opens for her and the rest. With no Omara Durand in this competition. Whatever has happened, she does not start. And that would have a knock-on effect, I think, in the upcoming events as well. Watch this space. Fuentes 1, Teodoro 3, Safarzada 5, Jacinto 7.
Set.
So they're underway in this T12 medium visual impairment. Safarzada Gaderajani, the only one to have opted to go without a guide. It's optional at T12, mandatory in the T11s. She is rocketing away. It's a global debut. She has been in 2 Asian Para Games, the first in 2018 in Jakarta when she won 3 silvers, 100, 200, 400. Look at her go. Teodoro well behind at the moment. Gold in the 200, disqualified in the 4 in Hangzhou late last year in the Asian Para Games. It's great to see female entrants for Iran these days. It's great to see her go brilliantly. Hajar Safarzada Gaderajani, she's well on the way to victory. Teodoro trying to close the gap, but it's going to be a win for Iran. Safarzada Gaderajani wins it, 58-68. Teodoro in second will go through as well as the only fastest loser, and the rest depart. And that was bang on, almost a lifetime best. Well, that was fantastic. Hajar Safarzada Gaderajani gets the win. Teodoro qualifies in the final as well, a minute .50. Jacinto in third from the Dominican Republic. What a win.
That was a fantastic run, and I can't help but wonder if the women in Heat 2 and 3 were sitting in the call room wishing they had been in Heat 1. Safarzada Gaderajani had no option except to run that heat hard. And the thing is, getting into a final of a T12 means your chances at getting a medal have really, really improved. There were only 4 of you, there were 3 medals, and as we know, when you're strapped to another body, a lot can go wrong.
Here's Lukumi Villegas with his final attempt, 52.58. He's just set to go in a moment or two's time in this men's javelin throw F38 final, which is really rocketing towards an end. And China has definitely picked up the bronze medal with a season best 51.21. It's now just a case to see if Lukumi Villegas can match or get near his Colombian teammate Jose Lemos, who's in shot there. So as we wait for Lukumi Villegas, he's now ready to go, and he's given that one some indeed. It won't be enough though. It'll be below that 55-metre marker. Tell you what, there's a bit of really interesting news as well. The Prefontaine Classic, which is coming up, Diamond League in Hayward Field in Oregon. There's going to be a mixture of classifications for the women's 100 metres as well. So Sarah Andros Barrio, who we saw a moment or two ago, by the way, Villegas, 52.73 for him. So Lemos Rivas will win with his championship record. Kashafali, who we saw tonight, and Philip Handler. Sherman Geety, who's on tonight in the 100 metres T64 in a little while. Other athletes during the week are going to be heading across out to the USA after this. So that's great news at that Prefontaine Classic Diamond League meeting in Hayward Field in Oregon. But here's our winner and gold medalist in the men's javelin throw F38. Was there ever a doubt for this man? The reigning world champion and Paralympic champion. He had the world record already. He now has the championship record, which stood for 5 years. Corey Anderson had that from Dubai in 2019. 56.57, so he doesn't improve on his second round mark, but it is gold and silver for Colombia, and China, through Anne, pick up the bronze medal, and a season best for him. But what a thrower that man there is, Lemos Rivas. Championship record 56.75. Well done to him. So that wraps up the field action. Lukumi Villegas with second place, and Anton Kwan with a season best 51.21 takes the bronze medal as China just keep piling on the medals. Great news that though about the 100-metre mixed qualification of athletes going across to Oregon, because it's really giving a platform to para-athletics as we head towards the Paralympics.
That is so exciting. Well, I'll get back to that in just a moment.
Amir Hossein Alipour Darbaid, gold for Orion in his championship debut, championship record, 14.61 gold for Orion in the F11 shot put, and well done to everyone else as well.
It is really exciting news, and I actually watched that Diamond League last year, and they had a few events as well, and it is actually one of the only Diamond Leagues where they put the para events in the middle of the main program.
That's brilliant. Luca Eckler's going to be over there as well. I'll give you the rest in a moment. Just confirming the second heat. Gomez de Aguiar goes through. Araujo, season best for her, but she misses out. And this was that race. So there was a tethering issue, but the athlete is actually just gone across the line, I think, first, ahead of the runner. So that is why Laia Apinje was disqualified. Cruz Severino did not finish because of injury.
Hajar Safazada Gadorajani gets victory in the third heat, and Katela Teodoro qualifies as well. And Safazada Gadorajani is the fastest. Gomez de Aguilar, Teodoro, Shen Yakin in the final as well.
So I'll just give you those who are going across to Oregon. Sarah Andres Barrio, Salam Kashafali, Philip Handler, Sherman Gaety, Vegard Sverd, Abbassia Rahmani and Luca Ekler are those who are going across as we head back to the track for the women's 100 metres T36 final. As we head towards the end of the evening. This is the third last final to take place. A couple more to go after this one. Interesting race this will be as well, because Shi Yiting, who's the reigning champion and Paralympic champion, so many major championship golds, goes up against that lady there, Danielle Aitchison, who set a world record in Wellington, the capital of New Zealand, back just 2 months ago. So this is a great little marker as we head towards those Paralympics later in the year. And it is a gold medal that both are going to want to win. So this is real competition coming up in this final. There's a field of 8 going in this one. It's the medium coordination impairment category. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It promises to be an absolute cracker. So there is our field with Aitchison going in 6.
Final.
And next to her in 7, it is Shi Yiting, the reigning champion at the Worlds and also the Paralympic champion.
Representing Hong Kong, China.
In lane 2, it is Yu Chunlai of Hong Kong, China.
In lane 3, representing Republic
Jim
of
Monjay,
Korea.
she's been around for a while. Multiple medals, including silver in the 100 and the 200 back in London 2012.
Representing
Abby Cresswell.
Abby.
She came 6th last year in Paris.
In lane
The
5,
youngster from
representing
Australia.
Brazil.
She turns 20 in July.
Veronica.
Veronica Hippolito of Brazil. 14:31, her lifetime best set this
In
year.
lane 6, representing
And the new world record holder since the 15th of March in Wellington, it is Danielle Aitchison, who finished behind this lady, Shi Yiting, in Paris last year. She with the gold medal there. She's a double world champion from 17 and 19 as well. Triple world champion all up. Yam, also of Hong Kong, will go in lane 8. And Mohammed Hassan of Singapore will go out in lane 9. So lane 6 and 7 are the two to look out for.
T36 final starts now.
You heard the man. It starts now.
On your marks.
Yu in 2. Dion Minjay in 3. Cresswell of Australia in 4. Hippolito of Brazil in 5. Aitchison of New Zealand in 6. Shi of China in 7. Yam of Hong Kong in 8. And Mohammed Hassan of Singapore goes in lane 9. But they're the two we'll be watching out for.
Set.
And they break, and Aitchison gets out quick, as does Shi Yiting. Aitchison's going to have some work to do because Shi Yiting is really moving away. Aitchison's trying to come back it up, but Shi Yiting is going to take it. Aitchison does it best. It's Shi who takes it though. 13.37. Now that is a new world record. So it's lasted a couple of months from Danielle Aitchison. It's been rounded down to 13.35. She's taken 6/100ths of a second off Aitchison's mark that she set back in Wellington in March and has taken back the world record. Aitchison 13.48. She'd been inside the championship record, but that is a very fast run. 14.35 for Hippolito, who takes the bronze medal for Brazil. Well. People worry about whether we're going to have a real competition when it comes towards the Paralympics, whether they're just using this as a warm-up. They may be, but that is certainly a race to savour. A world record from Shi Yiting Daniel Aitchison, who had the world record for a couple of months, has had it taken off of her emphatically.
Well, that was a great race from both of them. One for Shi Yiting to respond to her world record getting taken down. But I was so impressed with Aitchison because, look, it's one thing to run fast on a day that you're feeling great in an environment that you're comfortable with. But it's completely different to deliver on demand at a world champs with your biggest rival right beside you. And Aitchison did. She came back and she matched that performance, and that sets up a fantastic showdown once again in Paris 2024.
Yeah, this will be one to mark into the diary. The women's 100 metres T36. It promises to be an absolute cracker. 13.61 seconds for Shi Yiting. Here's that lifetime best, but I can tell you it's not that. It is a world record mark of 13.35, so just wrong on the graphic there. But 13.48 for Daniel Aitchison. Made me panic a little bit then. Hippolito, 14.35. She takes the bronze medal. Just confirming the men's javelin throw F38. Lemos Rivas with a championship record, 56.75. Lukumi Villegas, also of Colombia, silver. And it is China who pick up the bronze medal in that one through Anne.
Still the finals come on the track. 2 more to come in the 100 metres T44. First of all, the single below leg category without blade. And then those with blades, the corresponding, they will be up immediately after. Now this is a good field. We've got a mix of major champions in this. And the reigning world champion goes in this as well. There he is. Mpumelelo Mlongo. His 5th world championship. Mlongo in 5, Nur Alzana in 6. The former 400 metres world champion. The Asian record holder still over 400. Gamaj of Sri Lanka. Asian Games champion. Going in lane 7. There he is. Could we have a Sri Lankan triumph?
Men's 100 meter T44 final.
A couple of championship debutants in this as well. First of all, in lane 2, he's a neutral athlete. He finished 2nd in the 400 final in Bydgoszcz at the Euros 3 years ago. Dmitry Bartoshevich, no medal for him then, I'm afraid. Championship debut in 3 for Saudi Arabia, Jawad Al-Wawi. So welcome aboard. In lane 4 for Malaysia, Southeast Asian Games 200 metres and long jump champion, the former Asian long jump champion, Eddie Bernard. In lane 5 for South Africa, the defending 100 metres world champion, Mpumelelo Mlongo. In lane 6 for Saudi Arabia, the former world 400 metres champion, the former Asian Games 400 metres champion, Nur Alzana. In lane 7 for Sri Lanka, the reigning Asian Games 100 metres champion, Gamaj Indika. In lane 8 for China, championship debut, 21 years old, for Huang Rihua. And in lane 9 for Namibia, 5th, 100 metres in Dubai, 5 years ago, the World Championships, Denzel Namain.
Men's 100 meter T44 final starts now.
So the 100 metres decider, Eddie Bernard in for
On your mark.
Southeast Asian Games champion. For Malaysia, Mlongo in 5. The defending champion in this. What about Gamaj in 7? A good prospect. Could one of the 2 championship debutants cause a surprise? Bartoshevich in 2. Al-Wawi in 3. Bernard 4. Mlongo 5. Alzana 6. Gamaj 7. Huang 8. Namain in 9. T44. Men's 100 metres final. But away first time. Solid start by Bernard, a Malaysian 3, and here goes Malonga now. The defending champion's going to go back to back. Malonga to take it. It's going to be fast. Bernard in second. He's come through 11:36. A second world title in a row for Empu Malelo Malonga, with Eddie Bernard finishing behind him in second spot. Kamaj was moving up well, might just have taken third. But Malonga's got a good winning streak going now, and he wins at 11.36 seconds. And Indika Gamaj may well have got a landmark medal on the track for Sri Lanka here. The clock, you'll note, is still running, actually. We don't have the instant results we normally do, but Malonga definitely took that ahead of Bernard. Pretty certain it was Gamaj, but no doubt about the winner.
Now, Huang had a great start, and Malonga would have been who you would have picked at the start, but we've seen so many upsets. We saw it in the men's T13, we saw it in the men's T12, but there was absolutely no question here. No one could hang with Malonga's speed.
And Gamaj knows now, he's seen it on the replay on the big screen, that he has a bronze medal for Sri Lanka. Fabulous win for Malonga, no doubt about that. 2 consecutive World Championship 100-meter titles for him. But Eddie Bernard and Indika Gamaj have their first global medals. 11:34 ratified for Malonga. Eddie Bernard, the Southeast Asian Games champion over 200, is now a World Championship silver medalist. And Gamaj as well gets the bronze, and that is quite fantastic too for Sri Lanka. New names coming through, along with some old names.
Old names as well. Shi Yi Ting with a world record. Daniel Adgerton in silver. Hippolyto in bronze medal position. Adgerton's world record she set a couple of months back in New Zealand. It's gone already.
Zhu Lijuan dominating in the women's shot put F34. Coordination impairment seated. Saida Al Moudi of Morocco. Deep into her throws, all the throws coming at once. That going out beyond 7 meters. That's 7 meters 30. And Amoudi will get the bronze. In field events these days, India are dominant. Hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2010. They're due to host another big one sometime. Bhagrashi Yadav with the silver hair. 7:56. That's silver for India. Zhu Lijuan in a class of her own for China. Hey, she's had a busy week already. Adds to it. Championship record. 9 meters 11 to get the gold for China. It's another one to add to the collection. Zhu Lijuan wins by a comfortable margin. Championship record. 9/11 gold for China. Jadaf, the silver for India. And that superb bronze medal as well.
Well, here we are as the curtain draws on the evening. Men's 100 metres T64 final. There are 8 set to go. That man there surely starts as favourite. Sherman Geety of Costa Rica. No reigning champion, Maxel Manu of Italy. He isn't here. Geety with a season best 10.82. Japan with interest through Oshima. He won a 4x100 meter universal relay bronze with Japan, did Oshima back in Tokyo. And he'll surely be drawn along by the speed of Sherman Gaety.
Representing
In lane 2 from Brazil, it is Wallison Fortes. His season best, also his lifetime best of 11:49. The man who took silver already here in the high jump. It is Derek Loxodon of the United States of America who will go in lane 3. Silver medalist last year for Hayamanu, aiming for gold this time. Silver also in Tokyo in the Paralympics. It is Sherman Gaety of Costa Rica. Oshima Kengo will go with a lifetime best of 11:27. He was born on the 1st of January 2000. Straight into the new millennium. Hunter Woodhull. He's one of the 2 T62 athletes going this. He was 7th last year in Paris. Francesco Laragno of Italy will fly the flag for them. We'll go in lane 7. Blake Leaper, who's the 2nd of the T62s, both of them Americans. He was 8th last year, will go in lane 8. And Itani Shunsuke of Japan will go in lane 9. Lifetime best for him of 11:29, down 0.30 on that this year, his season best.
100 meter T64 final starts now.
So a field of 8. The last
On
event
your marks.
of the day. It is session number 8 here at these championships. It is day 4.
No!
It is the men's 100 meters T64 final. Fortes in 2, Loxodon in 3, Gaety in 4, Oshima in 5, Woodall in 6, Laragno in 7, Leaper in 8, Itani in 9.
Set.
Men's 100 metres T64 final is underway and getting away really quickly out of the blocks is Sherman Gaety, as you would expect, doing really well down there. It's Hunter Woodhull who's trying to catch up. It's Gaety who takes it. And it's Woodhull, I think, has taken 2nd. And I think Derek Loxodon has picked up a bronze medal running in lane 3 to add to his silver in the high jump. He'll be absolutely thrilled. But Sherman Gaety, 10:88 is the time he's run that one in. Itani has been given the 2nd position, but I don't know about that one, and we'll have to check on that. If he's got that, it is a new Asian record. But 10:88, I can confirm that it is Gaety who's taken that one. We're just going to check on 2nd and 3rd, because I think there might have been an issue there along the way. I think Hunter Woodall has taken 2nd place, and Loxodon of the USA has picked up 3rd. So we're just going to confirm that, but there's no need to confirm that we definitely have 10:88 for Sherman Gaety in 1st place. He has taken the gold medal.
I've watched the race back. You're totally correct. You've called it right. Of course.
Well, let's have a look here.
You can see
as Gaety goes through. Hunter Woodall is coming through in 2nd place, no doubt whatsoever about that. And on the far side, it is Derek Loxodon who takes it. So an issue there with our timing system, but it is definitely Hunter Woodall who's taken the silver medal, finishing really quickly ahead of his teammate, Derek Loxodon.
You can see Hunter Woodall closing down, and I think there's a lot of sweeping statements that go around that say that double blade runners can't start fast and single blade runners don't have the same top end speed. But we see there Gaety has fantastic top end speed. We know that the flat out world record is held by a double blade runner, Johan Flores, and it's so exciting to see this class competing together.
Well, the system has been rectified. Gaety with a time of 10:88. Hunter Woodall was silver, 11.13, and Derek Loxodon 11.40 for him in 3rd place. Now he adds that to the silver he picked up earlier in this competition in the high jump. So an American silver and bronze, and it's Costa Rica. Gaety doing one better than last year in Paris. He picks up the gold medal this time in Kobe in Japan in 2024.
And it has to be said, it's so great to see Hunter Woodall smiling at the end of the race, because the last time we saw him in Paris, it was at the start of the 400, which he never got a chance to run. Sadly, his prosthetic legs didn't hold up, but silver medal here.
Yeah, Gaety's taken the victory in a gold medal. Woodall, 11.13, and Derek Loxodon with that bronze medal. Oshima just missing out by 6/100ths of a second. Loxodon ahead of him. And we go back to that, you mentioned that in Paris last year. That was heartbreaking for Hunter Woodall when that did happen. He had to pull out before the race, and you've just drawn me straight back to it. And I've just thought about it, and it is great news for him to pick up a silver.
And Pumilano Longo retaining his title in the men's 100 meters T44 for South Africa. Eddie Bernard, silver for Malaysia. And Indika Gamage, what a fantastic bronze for Sri Lanka.
Women's discus throw F53, a championship record for Rodriguez Gomez. Asian record for Onodani of Japan, and all over with the bronze medal. So Golova competing as a neutral para-athlete, 12.67 in third place. That is a season best for her. 11.95 was their best coming into it. Four went in this women's discus throw F53 seeded final. And in third place, this lady with her best of the season so far. Her lifetime best 13.15, but that's enough for her to take third place in 12.67. Joy for Japan, a new Asian record of 14.49 meters for Onodani. It also is, and smashed her lifetime best of 11.42. So she's gone 3 meters and 7 centimeters past her lifetime best, taking a silver. Now this lady, in the morning, she took silver in the shot put. She was the gold medalist in this last year in Paris. She's just broken the championship record, her own championship record she set in Paris last year, to pick up the gold medal yet again. 17.22, adding another 10 centimeters to her championship record, taking the gold medal. So another gold for Brazil. And they, along with China, are doing exceptionally well at the top of the medal table. More excitement for Japan as well. Handshakes all round. Flags everywhere. The championship record for Gomez, Asian record for Onodani, and Golova, a season best for her in third place. Bucharev of Algeria with an African record of 6.68.
2 medals in one day. Lizzie has been busy. Amir Hussain, Alipur Darbaid, gold for Iran. Championship record in the men's shot put out for F11, complete visual impairment. Igor Baskakov, the silver as a neutral athlete, and Madi Olad in third position. That was also for Iran. Happened like this. Olad, a gold medalist previously. Quite competitive, this 4- or 5-way fight for the bronze medal. Complete visual impairment, but they have to wear the blindfolds just in case. Added extra. Olad, good spin, great throw. Out to 13 meters, 28 to pick up the bronze. How's that little twirl on release? Let's add a few more centimeters. And it has worked for Olad. Igor Baskakov as a neutral athlete, 13.22. His lifetime best heading into today, it's now 13.62. Superb throw. Neutral athletes are not represented in the collection of medals. They don't go into a medal table as such, but I guess the medals will go into the sideboard. And he gets the silver. 13.62. Championship debut for this 22-year-old for Iran, Amir Hossein, Alipur Darbaid. Monster throw. Come on. Championship record. Lifetime best by half a metre. The championship record dating back to 2002 from Lille for David Casinos of Spain. That reminds me of something. What a happy man. Alipur Darbaid showing his strength.
The larger version of Nico Capel.
14 meters 61, the championship record. Amir Hossein, Alipur Darbaid, the gold for Iran. Baskakov, the silver as a neutral athlete, and Madi Olad, the bronze for Iran. And Tapia had been fourth for Italy. And Mata Nituba with a Oceania record for Fiji.
Men's javelin throw F38 championship record and retention of the title for Jose Lemos. Lukumi Villegas with the silver and Anne of China with the bronze. And this is the best throw of Anne, a season best. 51.21. He got some elevation on it. It looked like it was going up into the stars, and then it turned and came down just over the 50-metre mark. Lukumi Villegas at 52.73, claiming Colombia's silver medal. And it is Colombia who take a 1-2 because the reigning champion and also the Paralympic champion, Jose Lemos, has thrown an absolute corker. He's broken his own championship record, or Corey Anderson's championship record, I should say. He's thrown further than he did last year. 56.75 adds to his world record that he picked up in Santiago in Chile at the Pan American Games last November. So it's a Colombia 1-2, and China take third place. Happiness all round for the Colombians. So confirmation that Lemos with a championship record takes gold. Lukumi Villegas with silver, and Dong Quan, season best, 51.21. Corey Anderson has missed out and lost his championship record. Well, we had 19 gold medals today. We're going to go one better for you tomorrow. We're going to give you 20, starting in the morning with 7 and then 13 in the evening. China lead at the top of the medal table with 13. It takes them up to a total of 33. Brazil, again, pushing China all the way. Algeria up there as well. Colombia with those couple of the gold just beforehand and a silver as well. The Netherlands, Fleur Jong has got them on the board. Marlene van Ganzenwinkel with the silver there as well. And New Zealand picking up a silver through Daniel Aitchison just a moment ago. Malongo of South Africa taking their first gold of these championships. Geeti of Costa Rica picking up one for them as well. So the medal table looking a bit more full now. There's a long way to go yet with China and Brazil at the top of it. And we've got 5 days of action left to come. This, the end of day 4. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early at 9 a.m. local time here in Kobe. Till then, from me, Tolson Tollett, Will Downing and Steph Reed, bye-bye.
Run it up.